Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. See you then.
We're doing cruises.
Pardon me. Did I interrupt the conversation over
No,
there?
you're good. You're good.
Thank you very much. But go ahead, carry on.
I think we do events this period.
Segment.
No, we do the car clinic.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hey, were you out to lunch when you got the?
No,
ticket
but Robert Hemmer was mentioning the Northside Mustang Club is having their fall open car show.
Can I do the open to the show before we get into this?
Sure. Well, you asked the question.
No, but you interrupted me.
You were talking when he was trying.
Just trying to answer your question.
From the Sugar Shack Studios, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, even though we're a little ticked off. Conrad has the In Wheel Time. No, scratch the car clinic. We're not going to do that. We'll also have this week's auto news. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars.
Maybe.
And we need more Jeff Zeke, and I'm Don Armstrong.
Ooh, blew right by him.
Sorry.
He's used to that.
You know, he doesn't pay attention to the clock on the wall, which we try to go by to kind of keep some consistency.
It's a big clock, too.
It is a big clock.
He doesn't read email.
No. He doesn't read email.
Can't tell time.
He doesn't post anything on Facebook anymore, except when he gets in trouble or something. I don't know what happened. What, you kind of gone off the track. What's going on?
He's going on strike.
Are you going? Is that what it is? Probably so.
He wants his 44%.
I want Spain to negotiate for me.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No, you don't. Anyway, welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. The not Thanksgiving, but the Halloween edition.
No, Easter. We're doing
Easter
the
edition. We're going to keep moving it along.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Eggs in the refrigerator out there. We're good.
Yeah. It's been one of those kind of mornings. It's kind of been disconnected, but, fun.
Having fun.
Way.
We're here.
We are here. You know what the problem is? We all prepped by getting here early, and we had an hour to kill, actually an hour and a half to kill.
It was a quick setup.
We reset the entire studio.
Well, the decorations were done last night.
They were.
that's
they
true.
were.
That's true.
But we reset the
And
mechanical
such wonderful
part of this.
decorations by such
Kathy
wonderful
and
women.
That's
Leslie,
right.
Yep.
Yep. Leslie and Kathy.
The In Wheel Time Ladies Auxiliary came in.
Very nice. Yes, that's true.
They had their little vests and their patches on.
Yeah, though those were their, the vests.
Yeah.
With all the patches on there.
And their little wartime helmets.
So were you invested?
I was invested.
Mike? I don't
know what he said.
What are you drinking over there?
know.
You're drinking something.
Drinking
Oh,
Conrad's,
I wish I was.
Conrad's Happy Juice over there.
All right, so here's what I thought we would do today. And I prepared this just for this.
Okay.
I got this off of the Corvette Forum, of which I am a member.
This is going to be good. I
Yeah.
know this is
All right.
going to be good.
Now these are Corvette
Get yourself
things,
something to drink.
But
This is gonna
as
be
I
good.
said early on, in kind of a preparatory mode, that you can probably relate some of these things in a different way to cars that you liked. You, Oldsmobile. Jeffrey, Cadillac.
Yep.
Mars, Studebakers.
Robert Hemmer, Mustangs.
There you go.
Randy
So
Weldon.
this is from the Corvette Forum. The dictionary definition of a cliché is a phrase or opinion that is overused and betrays a lack of original thought, kind of like this show. In the Corvette world, we have all heard many examples of these. It, of course, extends beyond just Corvettes to car culture in general. So the Corvette Forum thought that they needed the 10 most annoying cliches that keep seeing and hearing over and over again on the Corvette Forum. They're on a campaign to eradicate these, but the forum needs your help. Please help educate anyone you hear perpetuate these tired and overused sayings and beliefs.
And stop posting them on the Corvette Forum.
Yeah.
Number 10.
All right.
Corvette is a midlife crisis car.
Wait, what was your midlife crisis? When did you buy how old were you when you bought your Corvette?
My first Corvette, I was 23 26.
So that's
and
not
that wasn't
midlife.
midlife
No.
because you're way more than 26 now.
How many times have you heard this phrase? There are plenty of people that buy Corvettes when they are younger and plenty who buy them when they're older. The fact is, most people buy them because they actually like the Corvette. It has nothing to do with the stage of life they're in or the fact that they're going through some sort of crisis. The folks that say this cliche are typically just jealous of the Corvette
Yeah,
owner.
I'd buy into that.
The younger ones was for a reason. You know, they're young and
Girls.
you want, yeah. And the older ones is now you have the means to buy it.
Well, I haven't got old enough then because I still can't afford one.
Number 9, real enthusiasts drive only manual transmissions.
And what's your car, Don?
It's a manual transmission.
There you go.
Proof.
The next one I buy, if I'm still alive to buy one, is not going to be a manual transmission.
I've seen
Buy
a
a
lot
paddle
of
shifter.
newer manuals coming out and women drivers on them too.
Sure, we all love manual transmission. It does offer more involvement with the car and enhances the driving experience for most, but some folks take the dedication to a manual transmission a little too far. 30 years ago, automatic transmission cars were not just less involving, they were slower, more expensive, and less fuel efficient as well. That is typically no longer the case, especially with the new dual clutch transmissions. You can be a real car enthusiast and drive an automatic transmission car. Amen to that. Not all cars, but the new Corvette in particular, and the C7 for most of its appearance.
With the DSG.
Number 8, every sports car must be a track weapon.
No, I don't agree with that.
Some people get obsessed over Nürburgring lap times and how much downforce the rear wing can generate and so on. While those stats may make for interesting conversations with your buddies in the bar, in the real world, that is all basically meaningless. A sports car is not necessarily better just because it sets a faster lap time. The vast majority of drivers will never take their car on a track anyway, and those that do will not be able to match the lap times of the professional drivers.
You're correct.
On top of that, cars with the hottest or best lap times are typically less enjoyable on the road, which is where the car will spend most of its time.
Yeah.
Amen.
Stiffer suspensions,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, and the rear wing means nothing. You know, think about how many big rear wings are on a 2015 Honda Civic.
Well, they're easier to push.
Man,
It makes
at
it easier
30
to
miles
push.
an
It's like a
hour, yeah.
handle.
Yeah.
Number 7, a Corvette owner cannot afford a Porsche.
Don't want
No,
one.
man. Now that's where the uppity comes in.
You only bought a Corvette because you can't afford a Porsche. But of all of the cliches on this list, this one may be the dumbest. First of all, who cares about what you can or can't afford? Do people say that that is a nice 4,000 square foot house you bought?
Yeah.
You only
you
bought
couldn't.
it because you can't afford a 5,000 foot house. And is the saying, can only afford a 6-figure Corvette, supposed to be some sort of an insult? There are plenty of Corvette owners that can afford to buy whatever they want, but they choose the Corvette because that is what they like. This is another cliche that is typically said by jealous haters driving around in a clapped-out Civic.
Subaru
Correct,
Outback
correct.
champagne color.
It's kind of like having 3 wives instead of 4.
You know,
What's on the next list? What's the next list?
we wanted to slap him in the last segment. Now it's up to you. Would you go ahead and slap
It's
him?
not going to do any good.
Mars shared that thought with me. I just
Shut up,
verbalized it.
Mars.
Wow. Are you eating chocolate down there? He's all wound up. He's got the chocolate in front of him.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, God. Okay, here is number 6. Calling the Corvette the plastic fantastic. I've heard that. That's so stupid.
Really? I've
Well,
never
this
heard
one
that.
just makes our skin crawl. Yes, the Corvette came out in '53 with a fiberglass body, and some began to call the Corvette the plastic fantastic because of it. And still today, there are Corvette shows that are called the Plastic Fantastic Show. Part of the Corvette lexicon. But it has also become so overused that it is time to retire the phrase for good. Plastic fantastic might be a fine phrase to use when referring to a children's toy, but you're really going to call a C8 Z06 a plastic fantastic? That is demeaning to the car. Please stop using it.
But it is
5.
a fantastic car.
5.
I just never heard that.
Well, you know,
Neither
and they
have I.
stopped using fiberglass decades ago. They're basically plastic. That's what they are. And there's so many plastic
Composites.
cars. Yes, on every car made these days. How do you not call it plastic? You bought a sports car just to show off. This is number 5.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, most people buy sports cars because they like sports cars. Has nothing to do with showing off. Is there someone out there that maybe bought one to strut around town and feel like a big deal? Sure. But those folks are far and far between. I think it said few and far between. Most folks buy the car because they like it. And for the few that bought it to show off, you got bad news. Most people really don't give a crap about your car. They're not impressed.
Yeah, like there's a reason to own a Bentley convertible other than...
I believe, doesn't Sheila own one of those?
that wasn't my purpose of saying
But
that.
then why did you say it? Because you know that she's listening.
Because I was thinking...
Now you've insulted her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
4.
But she also races a Nova.
More
That's
power is always better. There's nothing wrong with horsepower, don't get me wrong, but this is another stat that people tend to spend too much effort obsessing over. Is the new ZR1 going to make 800 horsepower, 900, 1,000? Honestly, does it really matter? The car is going to be fast. We know that. In fact, it will probably be too fast to really be able to enjoy on the street.
Nah.
Once a sports car is making about 500 horsepower, everything else over that tends to be overkill for street driving.
I agree. Yeah, I
agree.
agree with that. Yeah.
I would agree.
Pardon me, but it'll use a cliche to explain this. It's more fun to drive a slow car than a fast car slow. Having 800 horsepower on the street doesn't do you much good when you're stuck behind a minivan going 30.
No, but when you come off the red light and the tires are spinning and leaving puffs of smoke behind it and you shift into second gear, it will continue to leave smoke out.
It'll generate smoke, yeah. I think
There's nothing I could say after that.
I was going to say, Mars, we'll go with that, okay?
The on-ramp acceleration test.
The newest model is always the worst than the older model. This is number 3. Take a sports car that has been around for several generations, like the Corvette, Porsche 911, Mazda Miata, and so on. There's always a group of folks that will hate on the newest generation every single time. They will cry that the older one looked better. The new one is too heavy. The new one has too much technology, and it is too big, and so on and so on. And it is true that in some cases, these are valid complaints. But overall, the new car is almost always better than the car it replaced. Give the new cars a chance. They might be different, but they might also be better if you judge them
Especially
appropriately, yeah.
especially in the instance of the Corvette, because they do listen to the consumer. And they try and adapt that next generation vehicle to meet what the consumer is demanding on it.
And you think that, like, for instance, the new car show that comes to Houston in January that we've been fortunate enough to be invited to over and over again, that if you don't think that there are people there that are listening to what you say about their cars, you are wrong. Because there are factory representatives there.
Yep.
They may look like product specialists or whatever you want to call them, put a name on them. But that's not their only job. They have to write a report. What did you hear about the Jeep Cherokee this time? And for every car show that they go to, they have to type.
I talked to this many people. This is what I told them. This is what they told me.
Right.
Well, I remember when we went to the Ram event up in Dallas. That was the purpose of the Ram event, was to listen to what the consumer
gather
was saying.
intel on the vehicle.
Because,
It's a good
because
way to say
they had their customers there because they were all driving Ram trucks.
Right.
So that was a really good idea to sit there and get them all in one place and hear what they had to say.
Yeah. It's interesting because, Mars and I get to test drive, if you want to call it that, new cars, a different new car every week. And matter of fact, I was 1 week late sending in my Dodge Hornet review to the people that handle all that. And they, hey, listen, Stellantis is really wanting your review. Would you please send it? 2 weeks was the time it took for me to send it. So they want to know how I review the car. Same for you.
Acapulco
for all
Gold.
of us. Acapulco Gold. So that's it. Anyway, number 2, back to what we were talking about. 0 to 60 times means everything.
No.
A Tesla Model S Plaid can go from 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds flat. So therefore, it is the greatest sports car in the world, right?
No.
Of course not. Some folks just live and die by published 0 to 60 times. Is the E-Ray better than the Z06 because it hits 0 to 60 1/10 of a second faster? The average human would not even be able to perceive the difference. On top of that, how many 0 to 60 runs do you do when you go out of the driveway every day?
Mars.
We're all pointing at you.
It's an interesting metric, but largely academic. A sports car is about feel and emotion, and handling and sound. A great sports car is not just about 0 to 60
Yeah,
times.
because there is no sound to an electric car.
Well, not only that, but I mean, I agree with that because, you know, I don't really look at 0 to 60. I look at how long it takes to get across the intersection and what kind of tire noise and smoke you can get out of it.
And you know that I have complained on cars that don't cut the mustard getting across the intersection.
Yeah, you have.
Turbo lag and all the other stuff.
And
These are
gear-
brand new cars that are delivered to the customer that way.
almost-
Gear confusion.
I almost did a
Oh.
segment on the E-Ray. E-Ray, the electric portion of that, because it's a gas and electric, it's hybrid. The front wheel drive is the electric part of it, which I did not know.
Well, wait till I get to my car review. We'll talk
there you
about
go.
The Kia Kona.
Segue. Kia Kona.
Number one, here it is. Not driving the car to keep miles down on it. Guilty. Kind of. But not really.
I don't think you do that. I just think you don't drive the car because you don't have.
I don't need to.
Yeah. Well, because you get all the other
There's
cars
no reason
from the
to.
manufacturers.
Right. And the fact of the matter is
And that's a job that you have to do.
in the 6 years that I've owned the car, I've put twice as many miles as the car originally had,
Yeah,
which
but
was 16 when I bought it.
But you're using the car like you're supposed to, the way you want to use it on the road tours, the Sunday afternoon
you
drives.
bought it for.
Yeah.
You're using it for what you
Yeah.
bought it for.
Correct. Okay, so here's their version.
It's been in
of
the
this.
shop forever.
Not driving the car to keep the miles down. Is there anything sadder than someone buying a special sports car and then letting it rot in the garage because they want to keep the miles low? If you, I get it. If you just bought one car out of a museum, this is 50 years old maybe and has 100 miles on it, that's obviously something you won't drive much. But just about everything else you should drive and enjoy. If you're able to put a new Z06 in your garage, go out and drive the damn thing. We have all limited time here on this earth, and you can't take the car with you. Who cares if you reduce the monetary value of the car a bit because you drive it? The real value in a sports car is the fun you have with it and the time you spend behind the wheel.
We kind of
Amen.
went a little bit through that last weekend with talking to John Hovis out at Hemi Hideout.
Yes.
Because John drives a lot of those cars he has in his collection. Not that he's frustrated, but he kind of fussed a little bit that he hasn't had enough time to drive enough of them lately. I know we all volunteered to drive any Hemi he had that he wanted to let us drive.
It's bad for a car to sit that long. I mean, you see these guys up north where in the winter they'll park them. Okay, it's going into hibernation. I'm putting it in the garage.
I get that.
Because it's.
But when the springtime hits and the snow thaws and the ice thaws up there,
Get the car out.
get the car out,
Exactly.
drive it around,
That's what
and you're
you
ready
should
to do it.
I used to do that with wheels. I'd take the summer wheels off and put the winter wheels on.
And the studded snow tires.
No, it didn't have that.
no
Well,
stress.
and think about it too is, how many people have bought that, what was that pace car Corvette, 78 pace car Corvette, and they put them away with all the plastic on them, and then they break them out to sell them at Barrett Jackson, and they make good money on it, but take the time to think about how much did they spend on the car, how much did they spend storing it
Did they really
all
enjoy
these
it?
years. Did they
that's-
enjoy it, and did they really recover
That's just
on investment? Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're buying it for investment value, it's something different.
Well,
Well,
I
that-
thought that was a little fun segment.
And that's
that
a
we threw
different
in there.
part of enthusiasm in the cars. One enthusiast wants to sell it, make money. The other enthusiast wants to use it.
Wants to drive
Well,
it.
some people will buy them, particularly like in the Corvettes. They'll buy it and they'll drive it a year or two. Okay, I got that out of my system. I'm ready to go do something else.
Right.
And that's just part of it. Whether it's a Corvette,
And let me
or a
tell you
Harley
something.
or-
Even if it sits in the driveway, like mine, it's only got 34,000 miles on it, and it's a 22-year-old car, it still costs me money. I had to spend money to get the electrical problem fixed.
Well, you
on
still
it.
have to
Battery
insure
drain.
it. You still have to insure it. You still got to put gas
Tag
in
in
it.
it.
So gotta buy tires
Replace
for
the
it.
tires every 6-7 years.
So there's that. All right.
Yeah, it's,
Time to move on. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. And we're,
Dun, dun,
we're still on the
dun.
fluids. Is this the last of the fluids?
Yeah, it can be.
Good, because we need to move on.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So we're going to talk this week about transfer case fluid. Now, I realize transfer case is typically four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but transfer case is that box next to the transmission that pushes power to the front wheels or power to the rear wheels. If your vehicle is typically front-wheel drive, the transfer case box pushes power to the rear wheels. If it's like a pickup truck, the transfer case box is what pushes power to the front wheels. And that fluid needs to be serviced like any other fluid does. Typically, the manufacturer's transfer case fluid is automatic transmission fluid. The question is why? Because now they can reduce the part count or the SKU in the assembly plant by one number, and that's important to them. So now they buy bulk automatic transmission fluid and fill your transfer case with it. I'm not a believer that automatic transmission fluid's the right fluid for a transfer case, because in a transfer case, there's a lot of what's called shearing. As those gears mesh, that fluid has to do its job of clean, cool, and protect. Automatic transmission fluid's pretty thin. So you need to, especially on the OEM stuff, you want to change that. My opinion is you should be changing it about every 40,000, 45,000
Like you would
miles,
your automatic transmission
like
fluid.
you would your automatic transmission fluid. And if you're using it in four-wheel drive more often, you need to change your fluid more often. And if you back something down the boat ramp, you need to change it more often than that as well, because that top of that transfer case has a little vent in it, and a little bit of water in there can be pretty detrimental to it pretty quick. So there's no question whether transfer case fluid is vital to the overall performance of the vehicle, but it's whether the traditional gear oil or synthetic type fluid that's used is the correct fluid for your vehicle. And there are some very good transfer case fluids that are out there available in the industry that have a higher shear factor, that are going to last longer and do a better job of cool, clean, and protect. So change your transfer case fluid frequently.
All your fluids.
Change all your fluids.
You know, I did that for the first time. I guess it was a couple of years ago now. Cost me $1,000 to do it, but I needed to do it because it never been done on the Corvette.
Change all the fluids.
Yeah.
Yours was more time than mileage, though.
Yes. Oh, most definitely time. And I'm glad I did. And it's going to be the same thing with my oil change that I got coming up next month. It's my once-a-year oil change because I don't put that many miles on it, but I do it. Use my mobile one. I buy a Wix filter, and here you go. Put that in there, please.
So every Thanksgiving he gets his oil changed.
Oil changed.
Pretty much, yeah. That's because I also have to have the inspection sticker, which will be the last year for that, I think. And
You don't need an inspection sticker after 20 years?
You do, but the state of Texas is not going to have that anymore.
By when he needs it.
You won't have to have an inspection
It'll
sticker.
just be part of the
really?
process. Yeah.
Even on my Oldsmobile?
I don't think so.
Oh, good.
Uh-huh. All right, time now for some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Beset by glitches with its robo-taxis and the suspension of its deployment and testing permits in its prime market, Cruise pressed the pause button on its driverless operations across the country Thursday night. The operational pause comes 2 days after the California Department of Motor Vehicles suspended Cruise's testing and deployment permits in the wake of an October 2nd pedestrian collision.
And how many billions did they spend?
This week's suspension and operational pause stem from the October 2nd pedestrian crash at the intersection of 5th and Market in San Francisco. The circumstances are complicated. A human-driven car first struck the victim, who remained atop the hood of that car as it drove through the intersection. She then fell off the hood into the path of an oncoming Cruise robotaxi, which ran over her and stopped on top of her.
I know where 5th and Market is, and yeah, she was in the hood.
Isn't that the where the Fisherman's Wharf?
No. 5th and Market is up near Union Square.
Okay.
At any rate, yeah, the car didn't recognize the fact that there was a human
Somebody
being
was laying out in the middle of the road.
Well, no, it jumped. The body went from the hood of one car after that drivered car hit the woman. She slid off the hood in front of the robotaxi Cruise vehicle, and then it ran over her before it stopped.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry, but I'm going to say if there was a driver in that other car, probably the exact same thing would have happened. You know, how much time do you have to react? I don't know.
Perhaps. I don't know that
but
either.
Stopping on top of her probably wasn't a good idea.
Yeah. With interest rates rate hikes making new loans more expensive. Millions of subprime car owners are struggling to afford their payments. It's a clear indication of distress at a time when the economy is sending mixed signals, particularly about the health of consumer spending. The percent of subprime auto borrowers at least 60 days past due on their loans rose to 6.11% in September, the highest in data going back to 1994, according to Fitch Ratings. For those with the best credit scores, interest rates are about 5.07% for a new car and 7.09% for a used vehicle on average, according to Bankrate. And for those with the worst credit, rates are about 14.8% and 21.38% for new and used cars, respectively. If you've got bad credit, if you could get the loan.
If you can get the loan, right.
This woman in Denver said that with her credit score of 580, she's paying an interest rate of 13.58% on her 2019 Honda Ridgeline truck. The expense comes out to roughly $700 a month for the loan and insurance. That is on a used car. The 28-year-old makes $17.50 an hour at Costco, so she's struggling to make her car payment along with her rent, all while she tries to pay down the more than $20,000 in credit card debt.
Yikes.
And that's not the car's fault.
No,
it's not
the dealer's fault either.
It's the lender's fault for hanging her out to dry, by putting her in something.
But they're out to make money, too.
And they don't want to be caught like during the Clinton years with the housing bubble.
Right. Well, and that's probably going to happen. You think about how high used car values have been during and after the pandemic, and all those people were stuffed in those cars. Mm-hmm. Now they're trying to figure out, how do I get out of the bottom of it? Because I'm sure most of them are way, way upside down in their cars as values have kind of normalized to a degree.
Yep.
Yeah. So beware and be wary. Just saying. Time now for a quick break. You are on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and thank you for being with us. We got another hour coming right up.
Tailpipes and Tacos is back. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In returns to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, and it's an extra special one. Bring your Hot Rod Classic or Modern Classic to compete for one of the famous Chili Pepper trophies and get a free breakfast taco. Just make a donation of any size to God's Garage and Loopy's will match it. You'll be helping single mothers who need a set of wheels. It's been almost a year in the making, so you won't want to miss Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, donate what you want to God's Garage, and grab a free Loopy Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy at 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. It's car show season, and what better way to kick it off than a free taco and camaraderie at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Proceeds benefit God's Garage.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Shile-Knowles at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Real Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InRealTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher,